Any class. That happens when I think last. Of course, our training. So you must have gone through a lot of training. What happened? Any training. Let's say we have a training set up for 70. Okay. So the training can be like, either you do it the entire day, entire 5 days, 5 days, let's say for a week, the entire 5 days. Or even if that is for 5 days, you are allotted with the time slot. Like you will start your training at 9 a.m. That will go till 12. Then you will have a break. Then you will start again after lunch. Then you will have some tea break and then you will end the day. That day is such a thing. Correct. Yes. Again, if we go for that big training every day, you have to register for it. Not every day, but at least you say that okay for this day. I am registering for myself. Or if the training is for 2 or 3 different days, you register in for one of those days. Correct. Not necessary. You do everyday training because you have already done for one day. Right. You getting me? Yes. This is what all class is all about, classes. When you go there in a particular training, what all you see? What all you see? Yeah. There are. Time slot will be allotted to you. You need to register into it. And copying classes is like if you have created one, you can just copy it. You don't need to create multiple around it. Now every class will have an agenda. Okay. Agenda. Correct. That's okay if you have a training from Monday to Friday. What are we going to cover on Monday? What are we going to cover on Tuesday? Things like that, correct? Yes. So these all things come under your class management. Okay, how you are going to define your class. Although we go to the system, let's first understand the topic. So if I talk about this terminology, it's not something very necessary. You already have done it. Class and everything. Yep. Done. We have already done. So if I jump directly to this, adding a class now, as I mentioned, every day, for every class, there will be an agenda. Can you see day 1, day 2? If you remember the very first class and we did for item, I told you that there will be agenda for each day. That will be added. That is your class, actually, nothing else. Like day 1. What are we going to do? Training day 1. Yeah, so manufacturing facilities were under this location. Under this location will be the second day they have ordered or created it very basically. But I'll show you how to create that in detail. We did it, but of course we'll do it again. Yeah. So just like that, I define the agenda in our class. Now, when I'm done with the basic information of the class, what we will do. Although there may be several different ways to access the Add New Class, a best practice is to first find the item you wish to schedule from the action menu. That's what we did, the very first item. And we said, okay, let's set up this class. Let's go and redo it. So it just defined that you can create classes separately. Which we had an option for, but it's always the best practice to create a class under an item. Why? The reason being I don't want to create a class. And I said, okay, there will be a class on Monday, from 9 to 12. But that is a fast date. Right, if I want to conduct a training in September, October, anything I have created for August will be a fast ticket. Okay. Correct. It's always generic and preferable. If you create something in the system, any item, then and there you create a class and schedule a class for that particular item so that it is aligned only for that particular item. Unnecessary. There aren't any lot of information which are not being used and generally whatever class you have created, that will get scheduled for that particular item. That's why getting me. Okay, like correct item and allow you to view certain item default. That will carry over to your new classes. Only reason. Of course. After that, you will update all the facilities and, within schedule information, select the primary instructor. Of course we did talk about that how to create an instructor and then added the location. You already have that location, that. Okay, let's say Singapore, this building, this floor or something, and this in Audi number. I mean in any location where you want to add all the equipment and resources that you want to add. All these details you can add into a class. Okay. Okay. No issue. When I go to this time zone again, as we discussed, that time zone should be based on the local time zone to just avoid the conflict and confusion. You should always keep this year so that in the local time zone, it doesn't matter which time zone I set up the class and you get all the information in your local time zone. When scheduling an item, you must try a start date, start time of delivery. When administrator add a new class and select the facility. Can manually change the time zone. If needed, you may also decide to enable the View Time Zone in Class Time Zone option. If you want the start and end date of each time slot be displayed in the selected time zone. Okay, so whichever time zone you want to, you can define it here, okay. Same thing. When you create a class system, we'll ask you about the start date, start time and time zone. Correct. Facilities. Same thing where you want to. Yeah. No issue. Yeah. Okay, now, what is this? This is very important. Now, when we create, add facilities means a new location altogether. What is the actually difference between real location facility? So I said I have 2 offices in Singapore. Let's go to example, one in Block A, one in Block B. Now the location for me will be Block A and Block B. But facility, what facility will be like in Block A, floor number 5 and the audio or the seminar auditorium, number +3. That's my facility. You getting me?